Hey everybody, welcome to my Facebook Live. It is Tuesday, it's November 1st, 2022. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're gonna do a nice fun fall card class. Last one, because I'm ready to start diving into Christmas. But I think you'll like this class tonight, it's really pretty. I've kind of done a lot of thank you cards tonight, but you could also make these Thanksgiving cards if you send those out, birthday cards, anything you want. So, mix it up, put any sentiments on that you would like, and those will make for some really nice cards. So I'm just waiting a minute to see if a couple people hop on. If you join me, please say hello, whether it's now live or on my Facebook. I'll post that video later this evening, and then I always post to YouTube as well. So thank you for joining me. Everybody have a good Halloween yesterday? The weather was beautiful here. It was like, I want to say like 74 when the trick-or-treaters were out, so it was absolutely perfect. We didn't get as many trick-or-treaters this year as we have in past years. I'm not sure why. But anyway, it was a nice Halloween. I hope y'all had good weather where you were and that you had fun. I saw a lot of fun pictures on Facebook of friends and family, people dressed up, lots of costumes, lots of fun, lots of carved pumpkins. So I always enjoyed that. It's nice to see. Okay, let me just double check and make sure I'm up and make sure my volume is off. Good. Okay. All right, well, I think we're ready to get started, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down and we'll get going. All right. Okay, I like it. I think we're good to go. All right, so I want to start out again by letting you know about the class that I'm offering right now. This is the Merriest Moments card class, and the deadline to sign up for this class is tomorrow. So how this class works is you would sign up for it, and I'm going to do the actual Facebook Live for this class on November 29th. I know it seems like a long way off, but I need time to order all the product and cut all the product, mail all the product, so everyone has what they need before the card class is actually live. So these are the cards that are included in the class. They're super fun, super sparkly, and they're all Christmas, and they're all sparkly and red and green and gold. I love to add gold to Christmas cards. And so these are the cards that we're going to make. So it's going to be 4 cards. I'll send you all the pre-cut card stock, the supplies to make the cards. So you'll get the ribbon, the embellishment, the pearls, the little gold leaves, everything you need to make these cards. In addition to that, I also include over $25 worth of Stampin' Up products in your package. So what you'll get, and this is providing nothing goes out of stock because I don't want to have to substitute anything. But since nothing's out of stock now and the deadline is tomorrow, I'll be able to order probably everything. So you'll get a half a pack of this designer series paper, and this is painted Christmas paper, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love little prints, especially at Christmas. They make for nice backgrounds, and we've got pine cones and spruce and holly berries, and so you'll get a half a pack of this 12 by 12 paper. You'll get some of the sheets of this beautiful gold glitter paper. This glitter paper is nice because it's not going to get glitter on anything, but yet it is so sparkly and so gorgeous. So it comes with the red and the white, and you'll use this for both of the cards that we're making with that. I'll send you a bolt of this beautiful gold ribbon that we use a lot, the gold shimmer ribbon. And you'll also get a pack of the iridescent basic pearls, and you'll get a full pack in your kit in addition to any embellishments that go with the card. So these things will be sent also. Okay, the cost of this is $32 plus $8 for shipping. Unfortunately, shipping is really expensive, so the total price is $40. If you would like to order a kit, please email me by tomorrow, and that's sunshineandsparklestamping@gmail.com. I know it's a long email and there's a lot of S's in it. Or you can just message me your email address, and then I can send you an email back. Okay. And again, the deadline for that is tomorrow. Okay, so tonight, let's get into some fall cards. We're going to be working out of the mini catalog again, and I'm using a couple different sets tonight. So we are going to use this Fond of Autumn set. This is one of them right here. And this is just a really beautiful set. You can see some of the cards that Stampin' Up! Is displayed in their catalog, as well as the die set that goes with it. The other set that we're going to be using is a stamp set. It doesn't have any dies. And that's, I'm sorry, it's right on the opposite page. And that's the Soft Seedlings, where you have that beautiful maple leaf and these gorgeous sentiments. So that's what we'll use on the cards tonight. So these are the cards that we're going to be making. I've got a beautiful Fall Leaf Thinking of You card, a Fall Thank You card, another one where I use different colors of the fall leaves and it says Sending Many Thanks. And then we're going to do a fun little treat bag with our favorite little squirrel guy and these little maple leaves. I'll show you. That's a really nice product from Stampin' Up! Too. And I put some trail mix in here. Just a fun gift to give for somebody. Okay, so the first card we're going to make is this fall card right here. And what we're going to use for that is, again, the Soft Seedlings stamp set. And then I've also, you can see, I've used some layering circles dies. A couple of mine are missing out of here because I've been working on some projects. And then this, I love, love, love this. This is a 3D embossing folder from Stampin' Up! And you can see the beautiful leaves. And we're going to emboss that right into our very vanilla cardstock. Okay, so here are the pieces for our cards. And our card base for this card is going to be Cajun Craze, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I've cut out a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside, so I'm going to put that aside here, and that's 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, then I've got a couple layers for the front. And this one is Pumpkin Pie. This one is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have a piece of Very Vanilla to layer over it. And this one is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So it's just going to give a really skinny border to the pumpkin pie. All right, so the two pieces of Very Vanilla are what we're going to start with, okay? So this smaller one that's going to go on the front, we're going to go ahead and emboss. And let me show you how that's going to work. We're just going to open our embossing folder. And we're just going to line it up wherever you would like it to go in your card. So I can start by lining it up on this line to make sure that it's straight. And then if you can see where the leaves are laid out here, is that where I want it? I think I want it a little bit more to the left. So I'm not having much blank space towards the top and towards the left. So I think I'm going to do it right about like that. Okay. And let me just check one more thing. Okay, that looks perfect. I just want it to be really straight. Okay, so I'm happy with the placement. Let me get out my plates and my big cut and emboss machine. So because this is a full-size embossing folder, we're going to have to use the big machine. And I've got my plates. I'm going to put this through my machine with the fold side first of the embossing folder. And it just goes through super nice and easy. And we're going to get a beautiful embossed finish on our piece of cardstock. So that, as you can see, only took a couple of seconds. And the result is beautiful. So let me show you that up front, up close. Look how pretty that is embossed on there. You can see all the leaf pattern. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got that layer ready to go. Now let's do stamping next. And we're gonna use a couple different techniques tonight. And this one, we're gonna start by doing a multicolored leaf. So I'm gonna get out just a piece of scrap paper to put underneath it. And I'm gonna take the Soft Seedlings. This is the stamp, and I really only want to use the leaf part. I'm really not interested in these helicopters underneath. So I'm going to use a little bit of Post-it tape and tape off these parts right here because I don't want those to show on my card. So that's all I'm going to do. Nice and easy. All right, and I'm going to start with crushed curry, and I'm going to stamp the whole image in crushed curry to start with. And then I want to add a couple other layers of color onto this. So I'm going to next take some pumpkin pie. Okay, hold on one second. I've got a sticker that stuck to me. I'm going to leave that open for a minute because we're going to use it again. So I'm going to take some pumpkin pie, and then I have one of these sponge daubers, and I'm just going to take it and daub a little color on it. And I kind of want this kind of more towards the outside, but towards the middle. And then I'm going to do the same thing with some Cajun Craze, which is a little bit even darker. And this time I'm going to kind of do like the very tips and edges with the Cajun Craze. And then we're going to get a nice variation in color. So let me pull these off and we're ready to stamp. I'm going to huff on it to make sure everything's still nice and moist. And then I'm going to put it right in the middle of this circle that's cut out of the Very Vanilla. And that's it. Isn't that pretty? I love the way that came out. Now, I've also done one for the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one and do the same exact thing. I'm going to clean my stamp first because I don't want any of these darker colors to get into my crushed curry. So I'm just going to wipe it out and do the same exact thing. And you can see all those colors coordinate with the cardstock too. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to do the corner, and I'm not going to tape off this time because I'm not going to put the whole image in. I'm just going to go into the corner of the card. So again, with the crushed curry, the whole image. And then I'm going to use the daubers, pumpkin pie first. And then the Cajun Craze. And we should get a very similar result to the first one. And then I just want to stamp this kind of off so it's just hanging out in the corner of this card. And that's it. That's going to be for the inside of the card. All right, so I think those look pretty good. All right, lastly, we're going to do a bit of embossing because I like to add a little bit of gold. So let me close up my ink pads. And I'm going to get out my Versamark ink. Now, I've already cut out this piece, and this piece is from the Stylish Shapes dies. It's just a banner with a little bit of dotting around it. And I have my Versamark ink pad right here. And I'm going to use the sentiment that says, "Thinking of You." Don't you love this font? It's really pretty. So, before I stamp it, I'm just going to take my embossing buddy and just go across my paper to remove any static, or I don't want anything to stick that shouldn't be sticking. So I'm going to just stamp that. I think it's hard to tell because it's kind of invisible, but I think we did pretty good. And get out the gold embossing powder. All right, I'm just lifting this by the corner, and we'll just spread some powder on there and shake it off. Let's see, I just have a little dot there that I don't really want there. Okay, and I'm going to take my reverse tweezers to hold it because it's small. And I don't want to burn my fingers. Okay, so let's heat emboss. See, it's starting to turn. Okay, beautiful. Can you see how pretty that came out? The gold and the shiny. Okay, I think we have all our pieces, so let's start with the easy part. Let's put the inside in first, and we're just going to attach that with a little bit of seal. see I've got a little bit of gold embossing powder on my workspace, so let me get rid of that. Okay, so that's the inside. On the outside, we're just going to start putting our layers on. And I think I'm going to put this layer on first, and then we're going to put some of that gold ribbon before we put the other layer down. So because this is a skinny border, I have to kind of be careful how I place it to make sure it's in the right spot. Okay, this is that gold ribbon that I just showed you for the Merriest Moments class, and we're going to use some of that tonight. It's gold shimmer ribbon, and we're just going to tie some around this layer of the card and make a really pretty bow. I probably cut a little bit too long on that ribbon, but we're going to want it to go kind of near the top, and we'll adjust it once we get it tied. Okay, I'm going to move it over just a tad because I want it a little bit more to the side, so right about there, I think. And then I'm just going to cut the ends. Now you can just cut just the regular, or you can fold your ribbon in half like this and cut it like a little bit diagonal that way, and then you get the little flag type on the end. So I'm going to do that for this one because I like that look. Okay, and there is our beautiful bow. All right, next layer, I'm gonna actually pop this up so it's just a little bit higher on the card. I didn't do it for the first card, but I think that would look really nice. Do you guys have beautiful fall leaves where you are right now? Our leaves have, of course, not started to change yet. Or are they already off the trees already? It's hard for me to gauge the fall from here. But gosh, I do love looking at the fall trees. I miss that about living in Chicago. Okay, so this is a scallop circle cut from the layering circle dies, and this is in Cajun Craze, and we're just going to layer our beautiful fall leaf over it. And then we'll pop that up as well. And we'll pop up our sentiment, and I think we'll be finished with the card. This card was so pretty with the embossing that I didn't add anything extra. I didn't add any rhinestones extra because I thought it was pretty just the way it was. All right, a couple of dimensionals. Let me get the glue off my fingers. Okay. I'm anxious to get rid of these Halloween nails tomorrow. I liked them for Halloween, but now that it's over, I'm like, oh, they have to go. All right, we'll set this right about here. Now, this Thinking of You, you can leave it as a banner. You can put it across the top. Last time I cut it off and had it coming out from the ribbon. I think this time I'll go right across the ribbon and leave it a banner on both sides. And again, you can use any sentiment. I think this would make a really pretty Thanksgiving card if you had a sentiment that said Happy Thanksgiving. Or just, I mean, Thinking of You works for Thanksgiving also, right? If you're going to send it to someone. Okay, that's our first card. What do y'all think? Okay. All right, so the next one we're gonna, I'm gonna do the next one, also do the one with the leaves as long as we have the leaf stamp out. And that's gonna be this one that I did with Sending Many Thanks. So what I've added to this one, hold on, I think I have these out of order. Okay, I did go a little bit out of order, but that's okay. So I added the Scallop Contours dies, and I took this die right here, and I just cut it out of the Mary Merlot cardstock, and I'll show you that piece that I have cut with that, because I wanted a little scalloped border going across that way. Okay, so here are our pieces for this card. Okay. Inside, this is Mary Merlot, and this is 8.5, 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of the gold foil cardstock. This is 5 1/4 by 4. I have a layer of white that we're going to be doing our stamping on. And this is 5 by 3 3/4. Now you could use Very Vanilla on this also. I just went ahead with white on this one. This is Mary Merlot, the scalloped shape that I just showed you that we're going to use for bordering our sentiment. I cut another piece of the gold foil cardstock, and this is 4 inches by 1 1/4. And then I have this sentiment. So this Fond of Autumn, we're going to use this for the next card too. But I took this little banner, and there's a die that goes with it, which is right here. And I just cut the banner out in white. And we're going to stamp. It has these sentiments that kind of follow the curve of the banner. And I picked the one that says, sending many thanks, that we're going to stamp on the inside. Hopefully straight. Okay, so that's all our pieces. Now this piece, what I did for the sentiment is I ran this through the die cutting machine again with that same leaf embossing folder. And when I did that, it ends up looking like this. And I'm actually using the deboss side on this one. So instead of being raised, it's indented. So we're going to use this piece like that. And you run it through just the same way as we ran the last card through. Okay, so let's start by doing the stamping. So we're going to have 3 different things that we're going to stamp. We've got the inside, the outside layer, and then the little banner. So this one, I just wanted to stamp the leaf in a whole bunch of different colors. So let me get my scrap paper back out and we'll get started on that. So I'm going to be cleaning my stamp in between each one. And it doesn't matter which one you start with. So I think I'm going to start with the Mary Merlot, which will coordinate with the cardstock. And this one, again, I didn't use, I feel like I need a bigger scrap of paper. I did not use the Post-it tape to mark anything out because I'm not going to use the whole leaf except for one, okay? So I'm going to start by putting this one in the corner, just like that. And then that's it for that color. And I just did one leaf of each color. So that is it for this color. I can put that one away. Oops. All right, and then let me do some Mossy Meadow. We'll still have a leaf that didn't turn yet. And if some of these little helicopters get in the way on the card, that's okay. So I'm going to put this one up over here, just like that. That's it for the Mossy Meadow. So this one takes a little bit, right? Because you're cleaning your stamp in between each one. But I think it's worth it. And if you were doing a bunch of these cards at once, you could just stamp, stamp, stamp with the color, right? And then clean it. So the pumpkin pie one, this one I am going to tape off because it's going to go upside down in the middle. So let me get my Post-it tape out again and make sure this is nice and dry. Do you guys have Post-it tape? It's one of my favorite things. And one of my uplines introduced it to me because she uses it a lot too. And I love it. I use it all the time. I use it for, even when I'm doing my live, I like to have my measurements near me. So I can attach it to my furniture and know it's not going to damage my furniture because it comes right off, unlike tape that might harm the finish or whatever. Okay, so pumpkin pie next. Pulling off our pieces of Post-it tape. I'm going to flip this over and I want this sleeve right about in the middle like that. Okay, that came out good, right? Okay, I think 2 more colors and we will be finished with this. I'm going to do the crushed curry next. And don't you love the way that this stamps? because again, you have the, look at it, just the stamp automatically gives you that variation in color, the shading. It's just beautiful. I love the way Stampin' Up! Does that with their stamps. It's just really pretty. Okay. This one I'm going to kind of put over here. And then the last one I'm going to do in Cherry Cobbler. Add a little bit of a red leaf. All right, last time. And that'll just fill in our last space right here. Okay, what do you think? That turned out really pretty, right? With all the beautiful colors of the leaves. I love that. Okay, let's start. Oh, as long as I have this out, you know what? This one, I'm going to use the Mary Merlot to do the sentiment because that matches the card base. And I'm not going to do an inside for this one. Save a little bit of time. But again, you could just take one of these leaf images and do the inside the same way as we did the last one with a solid color if you would like to. This says sending many thanks. I'm just going to ink this up and see if I can get this straight on our curvy die cut piece. I think that came out good. Feeling lucky tonight that I didn't mess anything up majorly yet, so that's good. All right, time to layer. I'm going to add, because the foil curves up a little bit, I'm going to add just a little bit more seal than I normally do to hold down this first layer onto our card base. And center that. Okay, then we're going to add our beautiful layer of leaves. Okay. All right, next I'm going to take this embossed piece of gold that we have, and I wanted a border on each side of it, right? So I'm going to cut this down with a pair of scissors. And now I'm going to have a border behind that piece, right? So I'm just taking my die cut and I'm going to use the 2 long edge borders for this. I'll save that little scrap for something else. Okay, so I'm just going to run my tape runner right along the edge, and I'm going to line this up right about here so the dots are just barely showing. Right like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my scissors and trim off the ends like this, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. See if I can get this lined up right. It's very quiet in here again tonight. Okay. That's it. That's our layer for that. Okay, now I'm going to put my sending thanks across, and we will pop this up. And let's see, will regular dimensionals fit? I think they will. And we'll just add about 3 of them. And then we'll have that curved across here, just like that. And then we're going to put this layer right on here. And I'm just going to put that down with some tape runner, some Stampin' Seal. And that's going to go to our edges of the gold. I want that up just a little bit higher so we can see all the colors of the pretty fall leaves. Oops, I didn't line that up right. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then let's just add some embellishments to this now. I'm going to take another piece of the gold ribbon and just tie a bow. So next week I have Christmas cards ready to go. I'm kind of excited about that. I feel like Christmas is going to sneak up on us quickly. I'm going to adhere this with a glue dot. And put that right under here. And then I'm going to use some of the festive pearls. I'm going to move this down just a tiny bit so you can still see the words. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, so the festive pearls come in this package, and I used these on that one Christmas card I did where the tree was popping out. I used most of my red ones, you can see, but I've got more because I think I'm going to use those a lot this season. So I'm going to take some gold ones, and so it's gold and silver, and then this beautiful cherry cobbler, and I'm not sure what this other color is. It's almost like a light blue. I'm not sure, but we're going to use these gold ones and just kind of sprinkle them randomly on here. And I think they're just so pretty. They kind of highlight the other gold that we've used. And we'll put one more down here at the bottom. Okay, and that is card number 2. Another beautiful fall card to make. Okay, now the next one we're going to be doing some more techniques, and we're going to be doing some coloring and then some die cutting. So let me just organize my space just a little bit, get a quick drink of water. Okay, so we're going to start working on this card right here. And again, I went with a thank you theme. This could be happy birthday. This could be happy Thanksgiving, anything that you would like to have it be. All right. So again, we're going to be using the Fond of Autumn set. This is the stamp set. This is a thank you that we're going to use. We're also going to use these little stamps here, which you can see are the acorn and the little leaf, and this stamp over here, which is just another one of these flowers here. And then we've got some dies. So we're actually going to use this die after we're done stamping the flowers to cut that out. And I'll show you how that's going to work. And then I just used from our rectangles dies, our stitched rectangles, just this little rectangle die here to do the thank you sentiment around, but you could just cut a regular rectangle. You don't have to use a stitch rectangle if you don't have this set. Now, if you were to get the make and takes from me, I will die cut that for you and send it to you just like they come in these envelopes. That's how I die cut when I send out the make and takes to people. So as you can see, the stitch rectangle will come like this. It's already die cut for you. The only thing you need for the make and takes is that autumn set or the squirrel set, whatever sets to make those cards, right? But the make and takes, I would send you everything pre-cut. Okay, this card, same measurements. This is Mossy Meadow, 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is going to be for the inside of our card. So I'm going to put that aside. This white piece is just going to be for stamping. And that's what we're going to stamp our flowers on. We're going to also stamp on the thank you. So let's just start with that and get all the stamping done right away, okay? So for the inside, I'm gonna stamp everything in Memento, then we're gonna do some coloring. I'm just gonna use the single flower image, and I'm just gonna put it in the corner right here. That's gonna be on the inside of our card. Okay, for the outside, we're gonna use the bigger stamp, which is the one that I showed you, and that's got this beautiful pattern of fall leaves or flowers. It's got a little bit of Christmas to it, so you can kind of make it whatever you want. I like it because it has the acorns, and we're going to color it fall, and the flowers color fall too. So you can just stamp this anywhere on your scrap of paper. So I'm just going to stamp it, I want to make sure I have a good image. Now you could use your Stamparatus for this too, because it is a bigger image. I'm going to take my chances here and not use it. Make sure I press down really good. And I think that's a really good image. Okay, and then lastly, while I've got my little piece here, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is going to be my thank you. And I'm going to do that in Mossy Meadow. And that'll coordinate with the cardstock on the outside. Okay, so let me just get that. You can see I have a tiny, tiny bit of black ink. I don't know where that came from on my fingers, but I have a way to get that off, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, there's our sentiment. I'm going to keep this Mossy Meadow handy because we're going to do some stamping on the card base as well. All right, let me just check my fingers to make sure that I'm not going to mess anything else up. Okay, so let's do the coloring. So I've got a bunch of Stampin' Blends. I'm going to start with some So Saffron, and I'm going to take a little bit of this light Cajun Craze. And I'm going to start with the fall leaves, and I'm going to blend two different colors this time. So the Cajun Craze, I just want to add a little bit of color to the veining, like right down the middle of these oak leaves, like that. And then I'm going to take my So Saffron and kind of blend it in. And you can see it kind of just blends in like it's the middle of the leaf. And do the same thing to this one right here. And I think that makes a really pretty effect. And then for the other oak leaf, I'm just going to color it all in Cajun Craze. And I think I want the darker Cajun Craze for that. This is going to be a darker leaf. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the veining in the darker and do lighter around the outside. Kind of blend it that way too. So this one's a little bit blended. See if I can stay on the lines. These are not the best glasses. Do you guys have that where you have got like about 10 different pairs of glasses all over the house? This one's a little scratched up, so it's hard to see. Okay, well, I have my light Cajun Craze. I'm going to do the middle of these flowers over here and these little dots. And I'm kind of sticking with the same color pattern. I'm stuck on this color pattern this fall with the So Saffron and the Cajun Craze, the Mossy Meadow. I think all those colors look really nice together, so I haven't strayed too much from that. So I'm going to use my ivory and beige to do my acorns. And I'll do the shell part here and then the top and the darker part. And that's it, just those three, right? So if you can see, it's kind of like there's three different areas, right? So you have the flowers here and kind of the fall leaves and acorns here. And then this almost looks like mistletoe to me. It's got the berries. We're not going to use this part, so I'm not even going to color that part right in there. All right, so the rest of this coloring should go pretty quickly. And then we're going to die cut this out. I don't usually use the bullet, but I'm going to try the bullet side this time. See if that helps me a little, stay in the lines a little bit better. My dogs had a rough night last night because they were a little freaked out by all the trick-or-treaters, but we put a little gate in front of the front door, so when we open the door, the dog, Sparkles, and yes, I have a dog named Sparkles, can come up to the gate and say hi to the kids and see them get their candy. The other dog, Scout, he stays back. He's like, I'll stay in the kitchen, thank you very much. Anyway, so let's see, I need my Mossy Meadow. And I'm just going to do the leaves around that in the Mossy Meadow. But, so, you know, it was a full night of barking and freaking out about trick-or-treaters. And then after that, around 10 o'clock, we actually got storms, which is pretty rare for us. So then there was about 45 minutes of storms that the dogs were a little bit freaked out about. So, rough night for the pups. All right, now I'm just gonna go through and do the stems with the mossy meadow, and I'm gonna kind of outline it, and you don't have to do that. You can just leave it black if you like it. I just wanted to add a little bit more green, so I'm just kind of outlining this like that. And let me add a little bit more green to the inside of the leaf. Okay, so let me, as long as I have the green, let's do some more leaves on this side. And I actually did that opposite. I did not want to do that. That is my light color. So let me do these in light and then do a little bit of the dark inside. I've been making a lot of projects lately, so I'm excited about what's coming up. Okay, and just, you can add a little bit more shading just to make the leaves look kind of pretty. And then we'll just blend that in. Then all we have to do is the rest of the flowers, and we'll be done with the coloring. And then we can die cut and start layering our card. Okay, so I'm going to use the light and the dark, so saffron. So I'm just going to start by putting some dark around the middle. And then I'm going to use the light just to pull some of that out. And you can see I'm going kind of fast and messy here, but I think that's okay. All right. Do you guys like this fall color combination? Fall colors are my favorite colors for sure. I use a lot of the fall colors in my house, probably pretty much the same colors like Cajun Craze and the Mossy Meadow, because I just love those colors. And then these little berries I'm going to do in the light Cajun Craze. Which is probably not a realistic color for berries, but that's all right. We're sticking with the coordination. Okay, so that's the coloring. We're good on that. I'm going to go ahead and I think I can use the small machine for this. So this has a couple of different dies in it, this set, but this is the one that I'm going to use. And you can see it cuts it into 3 different pieces, all right? Or actually 4 pieces. So I'm going to line this up just like this to do the cutting out of our pieces. And then I'm going to get out my Post-it tape to hold it in place. And let me hit it in a couple different places to hold it in place. I guess I should have got my tape out before I started lining it up, right? Okay, let's see if it fits through our mini machine. I'm going to cut it down a little bit so make sure the paper will fit through. Otherwise, we're going to have to use the big machine, but I think we can make it work. I forgot to color the little piece for the inside. We're going to have to go back and color that other flower. But at least we don't have to cut that one out because I'm doing it wrong. Because that one's just a stamped image. Okay. Looks like it fits perfectly. All right. Okay, let me show you the pieces that we just cut out. Let me get rid of this mess. Okay, so it cut the flowers separately. It cut our little leaf bouquet separately. You can see it even cut out the little pieces in between, which is a nice touch. And then these two I'm just going to put aside because we can use these at Christmas again, right? Because to me these are more Christmassy. We could have done more with that, but to me it just screams Christmas. We only need 2 pieces. All right, let me just go back and quickly do the inside coloring for the inside of the card. This will just take a minute, again with the So Saffron. And you can put a sentiment on the inside of the card too if you would like to, or just leave it blank for writing in. And the light Cajun craze right in the middle. And some of the dots. I would say take your time with this a little bit more than me. I'm just being kind of messy. And we'll do a little bit of the dark and the light. Okay, and that's pretty much it for our inside layer. These markers, if you guys haven't used these before, they are wonderful. I love them. Okay, let's start putting things together. Let's do the inside first. That's the easiest part, right? And we got a pretty inside layer for our card now. Just like that. On the outside, so I've taken a couple different things. This is the gingham paper that I used last week on last week's card, and I used a piece of the yellow from the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. This is 4.5 by 2 inches, and we're gonna just layer this right here. But before we do that, we wanna stamp on the outside of our card. So, sorry, I know these cards are taking a little bit of a long time tonight, but we're doing a lot of different techniques with it, so that's fun. So I'm going to start with a leaf. It's an oak leaf, and this is Mossy Meadow cardstock, and I'm just going to stamp Mossy Meadow leaves all over it. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room because I'm going to put some of the acorns in between. So I'm just going to randomly stamp the leaves and kind of change up the direction. And this will just make a nice little background. I'm going to fold this so I don't get it. All right, and I think that's pretty good for the leaves. Now I'm going to do the acorn in the same color. You could also do the acorn in a different color if you wanted to do like an early espresso, like a brown. You could also stamp them in the brown if you wanted to. I'm just going to do the green for tonight, because I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Let's do one here. Well, that one's a half, but that one's going to be covered up anyway, so we're okay. And there we go. We just have a nice little background for our card base. Okay. All right, so we're going to take that yellow piece of gingham paper and put that down. And we'll put that right about here. Okay, and then I have a piece of this. We're going to use this for our next card. This is the opposite side. And this is from the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. And I'm going to use this side, which is the Cajun Craze. And it's got the cute little dots on it. So I thought that would look really pretty. And we'll put that piece right about here. Then we're just going to layer up our flowers. So we'll start by taking our little fall leaf collage. And I want my acorns to face this way. And we'll pop that up with some dimensionals. All right. I think we're doing pretty good. I'm going to put this one right about here. And then I'm going to take the flowers and do the same thing. And we'll put our flowers, I think, right about like this. And then we'll take our sentiment. I'm just going to take a little bit of my sand eraser and just see if I can scrape off that little bit of black smear that I had. And sometimes you have to work at it for a minute because basically it's just rubbing off a little bit of a layer of the paper. All right, and that looks pretty good. That right about there. Now I'm going to add a little bit of old olive ribbon, which is very, I don't think I put that exactly straight down there, which is very close to the mossy meadow, so I think we can get away with it for the green. And this has a beautiful sheen to it, this ribbon. This comes in a 2-pack, and it also comes with Sahara sand ribbon. So I'm just going to tie a bow with this ribbon right here. I use this a lot for fall cards this year just because of the color combination. Like I said, I kind of been stuck on that same color combination this year. Okay, and let me get my scissors out. And we'll use a glue dot to attach that. And then we're going to add some embellishments, some rhinestones on this one. Now, I showed you one way to get rid of an oops on your card. Another way, when I first did this card, I had a little oops right here. So I just stamped another acorn and colored it and cut it out and put it right there. So it kind of added to the collage but covered up my mistake. So you can be creative if you make a mistake while you're working. Okay, I'm going to use some of the Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And we'll add some of those to this card. I think they coordinate really nicely. All right, so let's just get some. We'll put 3 there and a couple more at the bottom. I think maybe like that. Okay. All right, that's it. Inside of the card looks pretty too. So that is our 3rd card. I hope y'all like it. Okay, last thing we're gonna do is our little, this is an easy project. This won't take very long, although we're gonna do a little bit of coloring again. And I just, this is one of the peekaboo treat bags that you can get from Stampin' Up, and it has this nice cellophane window in it already. It comes in white and craft, so you get, in the package, I think you get like 10, like 5 craft and 5 white. So we're gonna use the craft ones tonight and our little squirrel friend again. So, this is the Nuts About Squirrels stamp set, and I know I've used the heck out of this because I do love this little guy. I think he's really cute. Doesn't use a whole lot of supplies for this one. So these are the craft bags that I'm talking about, and it has a really good, strong, like Ziploc type seal at the top. And then you can just put whatever treat you want in there, and it kind of shows through, so that's good. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping. We're going to do a little bit of coloring. So I have that Designer Series paper again, and that's from the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. And let me get the measurements out for you because I see I didn't put them on my sheet, right? So these are going across. They're both going to be 3 3/4. This one is 2 inches. This one is 1 inch. Okay, so we're going to color those in a minute. This is for our stamping of the squirrel. And then I have to show you this little maple leaf. This is a really cute set. So this comes in a set, and it comes with a bunch of these, and these are called Leaf Label and Amber Gem Combo Pack. So it comes with these pre-cut craft leaves and these amber gems already in the packet. So it's a packet of gems with that. So we're gonna use that on our card tonight as the label. Okay, so I think we're going to use our Stamparatus to do our squirrel because it's a 2-step stamp, and I want to be able to line it up properly. So I'm just going to put that like that. All right, and let me get out my stamp. So I'm just going to, because I'm going to cut him out and fussy cut him, I can put him anywhere. So this is going to be the outline of the squirrel, and I'm just going to pick him up this way and stamp him in Memento. All right, can you see this? Hopefully it's in the camera pretty good. Okay, there's the outline of the squirrel. Let me get this piece off and clean off my fingers. So the next thing we want to do is do the coloring layer. And I think in this one, I did either soft suede or crumb cake. We'll make them a little later. We're going to do crumb cake for this. So the beauty of the Stamparatus now is I can take my other stamp, which is going to be the one that puts the color on this little guy, and I can line him up exactly where I want. So, and this is a little tricky. That's why I like to do it with the Stamparatus, because then I can take my time and make sure that I'm putting it on there right. Whereas if I were just stamping with the clear stamp block, I might not get it right. And I think that's pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. All right, so now it's placed. Now I'm just going to pick it up and it'll be in the right place when I stamp, providing that my piece of paper stays in the same spot. I should have been more aggressive with my magnets. I should have got them a little bit closer. Okay, so ink this guy up with the crumb cake and stamp him that way. My paper moved a little bit, so I might be a little bit off on this. I'm a little bit off, but it's not terrible. It's almost a little artsy, but you can see I missed a spot here, so I'm gonna ink them and redo them. Okay. Got some ink on myself here. All right, so now I'm just gonna fussy cut this little guy out with a pair of scissors. All right, and the rest of this card, or this treat box, is pretty easy. We're just gonna color that DSP with some Stampin' Blends. And then just assemble it. The assembly is really quick. We're also gonna stamp on the leaf, so I need to get out the sentiment for that. And I'm not being super careful with this. And you can see this part right here that kind of went out of the lines. It's fine. It would have been nice to have some dies for the little squirrel, right? I guess I like dies with everything. It just makes it easier so you don't have to cut out a bunch of stuff, but it's not like it's a hard thing to cut out either. I want to also, I'm going to color this acorn, and I'm going to use the ivory and bronze blends again for that. So as soon as I finish cutting this little guy out, I'm going to color the acorn. All right, let me get into this little space right here between the ears. I feel like once we pass Halloween, the seasons are going to come quickly. I mean, Thanksgiving's going to be in a few weeks, and then it's that crazy mad rush to Christmas. Okay, there's our squirrel. Let's do the acorn and the other coloring. So there's 3 things we're going to color. So I know this video's taken a little bit longer tonight, but we did a lot of different techniques. A lot of coloring. I feel like the coloring always takes a long time. And same colors as before, the bronze and ivory that I'm using for the acorn. Okay. He's done. Now with these, you can color on your designer series paper. And I just took different colors for the different types of leaves. Like this leaf, I just colored in the So Saffron, right? And I'm not being super careful because you can't really see it on the black. If it goes outside of the lines, it kind of dries and you can't see it. So any leaf that looks like this, I'm going to go ahead and do the So Saffron. And this coloring goes by pretty quickly. Now you can be more careful than I am too, of course, but I am doing it fast because we're on video. I would probably take a little bit more time if I wasn't on video and make sure I didn't go out of the lines as much. Okay, I think that's it for that color. I think the little ginkgo leaf I used, now when I was in school, in 7th grade, we had to do a leaf collection. In 8th grade, you had to do a bug collection. And I still remember, like, the ginkgo leaf was one of the leaves that was like a prized leaf because it was kind of rare for your leaf collection that you were doing for 7th grade. So before you went into 7th grade, you knew it was coming, so you started collecting leaves during the summer. I don't know if that was specific to our school district or if everybody does leaf collections or used to, but that's what we did back then. Okay, that looks pretty good. What other leaves do we have? I think I'm gonna do, let me do a little pumpkin pie. And we'll do this one in pumpkin pie. Actually, I'm gonna do this one in the pumpkin pie. Anybody know what kind of leaf set this is? I'm not sure what this is. Shows you how much I learned in 7th grade, right? So any colors that you want for your leaves. I feel like we need a little bit of red in there to add a little more color. Takes a minute to color these, but I think it's worth it in the end. All right, so let's do, I'm gonna take a little bit of the cherry cobbler and add a little bit of red, and we'll do this leaf right here, this kind of roundish one. One there, one here. Now you could also just leave it black and white too if you wanted to for this card. You don't have to color the leaves. But I think it adds a nice touch, makes it pretty. Okay, are we running out of colors yet? Let's add a little bit of Granny Apple Green, which is more of a lighter, brighter green, to fill in some of these. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of Cajun Craze with what's left over. Okay, after this, we're gonna just stamp our sentiment on the leaf, and then we're just all assembly after that, so that's easy. And these may not match, but I'm just gonna do this for the sake of finishing the coloring. Just everything else is now gonna be Cajun Craze. And you can see how it kind of just blends into the black once it dries, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Okay. We're calling that done. Doesn't that look pretty? Nice and vibrant, pretty colors. Okay, so we're just gonna put some seal on this. And I'm gonna use a lot of seal because this bag kind of curves a little bit. Oops. There we go. So I'll put on some extra. Put this across the top part here. We'll do the bottom part the same. We're gonna pop up our squirrel, and I guess we're not really gonna pop him up. I'm just gonna add some, or do we wanna pop him up? Let's pop him up, why not? I'm gonna actually add 4-dimensional, so he's on there really good. And as you can see, I'm starting to get a little bit of ink everywhere. So let's put him right here. Let me do something about my fingers. Just got a little baby wipe. And clean my area too, because I got some ink over here. Okay. All right, let's finish this guy up. I'm just gonna stamp and memento the Nuts About You, and that is the sentiment that is in the Squirrel Nuts About You stamp set. And we'll put that right like that. I'm going to take some linen thread and wrap it around. I just stuck my finger in the black ink now. Okay, and here's our linen thread, and I'm going to wrap this around maybe 3 times. All right, so I want to start here. 1, 2, 3. All right, and the 4th time's the charm. All right, so what I'm going to do to make it easy, before I tie my bow, I'm just going to tie a knot to start with. Right about there. Super inky tonight. Okay, now I can take my leaf, which already has a hole cut into it, and just thread my linen thread through. And now I'm going to tie my bow that way. My fingers are almost, I mean, it's really bad. You know what? Let me tie the knot part first, like this. Okay. And that's it. That's our cute little bow. Now, the only thing we have left to do is just add some rhinestones. And from that same kit, I'm just going to pull the rhinestones out and adhere some of them. We're almost finished, you guys. Hang in there. And we'll just randomly put some of these here. Okay, cute, right? Isn't that adorable? Then you can just go ahead and add some trail mix in here. I just got, our store out here is called H-E-B, and I just got a packet of trail mix, and this one's fun because it's got the M&Ms in the different colors, and I think it looks nice in the packet. So you can just put some of those in there, or just some nuts or candies, anything you like in the treat bag. Okay, so that's our last project. Let me bring back the things that we made tonight. So we have our beautiful fall leaf cards, a thank you card, another thank you card, and then we have our little treat bags for tonight. So those are our last fall projects for the season. I'm ready to get into Christmas, and I'll show you what I have in store for next week. Let me just run a couple of reminders past you first. If you would like the project measurement and supply sheet for this, you can email me at sunshineandsparklestamping@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send this to you from this week. If you would like the make and takes, you would just go ahead to my online site, place an order of $35 or more, use this host code, and then I will send you the make and takes for these cards for free. A reminder for Paper Pumpkin that this month's kit is from the North Pole. It's a Christmas kit. I think these stamps are going to be beautiful for this kit. And this is a tag kit, so it's going to make 12 easy tags. And who doesn't need tags at Christmas time? So if you'd like more information on Paper Pumpkin, there's a link that I will post afterwards to my Facebook business page and also my YouTube channel. To go to Paper Pumpkin. If you want more information, you can also email or message me about that. Last month's kit was also Christmas, and I have to tell you, I think these cards that it made were really cute from the kit. Okay, so next week, I'm ready to start Christmas, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to use the Sweet Candy Cane set, and we're going to make this card right here, and we're going to make this card right here. 'Tis the season. With the candy canes, and then this card with that white sparkly background and some of the banner dies. And then we're going to make some fun little holders for candy canes. So it comes with this cute little die set, and we're going to emboss on there, and you can put your candy canes through here. And then you can make a nice display in your house or give them out as gifts to the kids at school, to teachers. So I just put mine in a jar, and I'll have this out at Christmas, and then the candy canes are all just cute and labeled. So that's what we're going to do next week. I hope you can join me then. I thank you for joining me this week. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.